and you certainly do have to make the most of it while you can. And again, the English way of life, especially from bygone times, is rapidly disappearing now. Some very big agendas in play. It certainly is a shame what consecutive governments have done to used to be a very good way, English way of life. Greed and corruption at every level, corporate greed. Again, all their bureaucracy. So the English way of life from bygone times, again, it's like I say, is rapidly disappearing. You certainly have to make the most of what is still remains before that is gone, taken too. And again, we all know who's committing the real crimes and violations. And the corruption really does go right to the top and rotten to the core. That's only a beautiful way of life. It's been lost and stolen by the corrupt powers that be. Sometimes governments have to be reminded we're not here to do the will of the government, Keir Starmer. The government is people created to do the will of the people, not the other way around. It's the people who have the real power. But the big problem is 80% of the people will do what they're told to do. They'll believe what they're told to believe. When you see so many giving up all their God-given rights and freedoms, their true God-given sovereign identity in exchange for entrapment and enslavement, an eternal entrapment and enslavement. There's certainly those in high places who'd like to box me up, lock me up, make me disappear one way or another. Again, they certainly will pay to make you disappear, or to cover up their high crimes. Blue murder, frames and fixers switches, monster lies and bogus diagnosis, and certainly not mine. So I do know how evil and corrupt the system is. Again, they will set you up with the biggest monster lies and the biggest bogus diagnosis. Use everyone and anything as a weapon against you, but again, all to cover up their high crimes, blue murder. Certainly not mine. Castles, manor houses, UK's Devil Island, country estates. And one thing the last 5 years have clearly demonstrated is just how evil and corrupt the system is. We certainly do not want to become a society that punishes people for telling the truth and exposing the truth, the high crimes and the monster lies and cover-ups. Again, they certainly do hunt more than birds of prey on the Royal Sandringham Estate killing fields, late Prince Philip's favourite hunting area. Their high royal blue crime, New Year's Day fine, September blue murder, certainly not mine. See Prince Harry the Spare for details. 17-year-old sex trafficked girl abused and hunted and found dead on New Year's Day. And as always, that is the word that came off the Royal Sandringham Estate killing fields, loud and clear. Prince Harry's birthday present pie, rich boys love pie, human hunting pie. Some people like their blood sport, human hunting. Again, castles, manor houses, UK's Devil Island, country estates. So, certainly plenty of high crimes, Jack the Ripper crimes, and certainly not mine. I did watch Jack the Ripper film last night. It was a very different version to the ones I've watched previously. That's when a woman came to find her mother and brother in London from Germany. Her mother had died, and her brother had been put into an asylum as he was set up as the Jack the Ripper serial killer. He was also murdered in the asylum by the person who was the real Jack the Ripper serial killer, which then turned out to be the police inspector. There are plenty of serial killers in uniforms and in high places. It's just a bit rich when people all in positions of power, authority and influence in high places, and they are the ones setting you up. And then you find out it's all to cover up their high crimes, blue murder, certainly not mine. Their frames and fixer switches, their monster lies and bogus diagnosis, and certainly not mine. They certainly don't like it when they all get caught out in a big monster lie. So run, rabbit, run. Who framed Roger Rabbit? And I did come across my first badger the other night in 2025 out on the trails. It's the first badger I've seen this year so far. I've seen everything else, foxes and deer, birds of prey, box and hares, and plenty of birds and wildlife, but that's the first badger. They are very elusive. Sometimes you also have to be very elusive. Again, some people like their blood sport, other people their blood money, human hunting. And cruise on my frame fixed tail in Diss Norfolk, Norfolk coast, Derbyshire and the Lake District. And certainly no Roy White and White Van Man, Christian B. Christian B has been back in the news again recently concerning the Madeleine McCann case, and certainly no Red Car Michael Dunn, Michael Sands, Sutcliffe Steve Wright, Wayne Cousins, Brady Huntley, Fred West, I really don't think so. Evergreen Toxic Crane Corporation, Saks Coburn Goffer, Windsor SS. Norfolk Bacon SS, Windsor Gestapos, the local Nazis. Diss Mason Council, White Lodge, the local mafias, the local mob, all their cronies, spies and informers, number 10. Scotland Yard, and you could have seen the Druid May Queen at number 10. And you certainly could have seen Dickhead and Co. at Scotland Yard, Cresser Dick, though Cresser Dick did get the sack, did get dicked off. And you certainly could have seen Ma Jezebel, Cruella de Vil, Lizzie the Lizard, now departed. So they certainly will use and set you up, frame and fix you, use you as the spare and the fall guy, the scapegoat. Again, all to cover up their high crimes, plea murder, certainly not mine. So sometimes